no educational opportunities. I never heard the word college till I was 16 or 17 years old. I never heard that it was a possible option for people like me. I knew the class I was in. But anyway, with regards to unions, it's more an urban phenomenon. I mean, by and large, it really is. When things get done right and a union is formed, and we can credit the union for the creation of the middle class in America, no matter what anybody says, it was unions the first ones to really have people be able to afford their homes, be able to afford to send their kids to college. We owe the existence of the middle class that we've seen wither away. It was a product of unions. But it was pretty much an urban phenomenon. And rural America, in the first place, it wasn't an issue for them because before World War II, 45% of Americans lived on farms. After World War II, 22 million of them moved into towns and cities and factories and had their first exposure to unions, maybe. But they didn't share in that cultural history. They don't know about the Triangle Shirt Factory, about the Ludlow Massacre. They don't know who Big Bill Haywood is. They don't know about the formation. They don't know. It's not part of their history. It's not taught to them, and it's not part of their cultural history. They didn't have granddaddy that was in the Union. Maybe if you're in the Northwest and he was a wobbly logger or something, but in general, and we did have like farmer strikes in Alabama and stuff, but the labor movement per se has never had the sympathy of rural folks. When the Bonus Army marched through the Shenandoah Valley here, the towns put the cops out there so they wouldn't be fed and had to bypass the towns. The rural America, and I'll slow down, shut up here in a minute, has seen the unions and strikes, traditionally, they saw it as trouble. They liked a placid, bucolic vision of America, and so they never were incredibly sympathetic with them.
Here's a question for you. Why is someone like Sarah Palin so incredibly popular with, to use your term, redneck voters?
Yeah, well, I embrace redneck. I'm a product of redneck culture. It's the name of a culture, and I'm proud of it. Okay, you have Obama, the slick Harvard lawyer, all the things that we're never going to be, never went to college, your kids never go to college, da-da-da-da. Then you have Sarah Palin comes out. Okay, here's somebody that has shot a moose, snowmobiles, has an illegitimate granddaughter. Who doesn't? 1/3 of Americans are born out of wedlock. I mean, white Americans have people born out of wedlock in their family. The fact that she's not a lawyer is a real plus, and being good looking don't hurt a bit. It's easier to identify with than as liberals, we were touched by the soaring rhetoric of Obama. Just because we're capable of appreciating soaring rhetoric. And, she's not the greatest thing in the world, even with working class people, but she's by far was a more attractive candidate in many ways. If one of us, we recognize her. Oh, she got an illegitimate kid. That makes her double real,
Peggy Noonan, when she wrote her Sarah Palin takedown for the Wall Street Journal recently, she basically described Palin as somebody who was, too dumb to know exactly how dumb she is. And her exact words were, she never learned how the other side thinks or why. And that seems to me to be at the root of the inability of left-leaning people and right-wingers to actually speak to each other in a civil manner. And as someone who clearly does have empathy for both sides, how can one side make the other understand where they're coming from? Or is that just impossible? It's a fool's errand.
I think you summed it up really well. The second half of the new book is about the culture of alienation. And we don't really realize how disconnected we are from the other people around us. And our opportunity to know the human experience that produced the way they think and so on. You can set out to do it. And look, I set out to do it. It took me 15 years. I mean, it's just not something you go, well, I've got to go over the other side and understand them and win them over. It's just not that simple.
If Karl Marx were to be, shall we say, magically transported in a time machine to a bar in Winchester, Virginia, what is something that, let's say, Marx could learn from talking to a redneck voter that Marx would not have known?